Hello, I'm Joshua Konfrst. I live at BASSOON, and I'm here to see if I can help you practice better, improve your practice routine. To make sure that you practice more, and you even practice every single day, try to have a dedicated practice hour. So have an alarm that goes off at 2:30 or 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that. And have that just be an hour you practice, or 30 minutes where you practice anytime. This way you make it a habit to practice. You expect to practice. You can prepare for it. You can start wrapping things up or eat dinner early or later, that sort of stuff. Make sure you practice. And when you sit down to practice, you should always be warming up. These warm-ups can be especially useful because you can use them to practice fundamentals. So have a little 10-minute timer on your phone and just practice scales or arpeggios or tonguing or articulation, and improve that, because that'll improve everything you do. As well as with warming up, your fingers will be ready and your tone will be stable, perfect for when you actually try to practice the stuff that you need to practice, the actual pieces. And another good idea, because a lot of this has to do with learning to enjoy practicing, is to have a piece that you enjoy playing and pieces that you need to play for band or orchestra or something. And they can be the same, but make sure you have something where you enjoy practicing every single time you practice. This way you learn to enjoy practicing. You would look forward to playing this piece and all that. And make sure you don't play too much of the fun piece, because of course you're going to want to play the fun piece at all times. Have a little timer. Having a timer is just a good idea in general, but have 10 minutes spent on just playing through your fun piece and see if you can get it better or faster, or express yourself more, anything that you enjoy doing. So now that you finished with that, and now you have the stuff that you actually have to do for band or orchestra or full orchestra or solo or anything, set goals for it. So say you want to get the first half of this piece to 80 beats per minute by next week or something. Set attainable goals. You could have a checklist even for everything you need to get done with this piece, and as you go along, you check it. Because every single time you can fulfill a goal, you don't feel fulfilled in general. It makes you feel good. And if you continuously, every time you sit down and practice, you complete a goal or complete two goals, you'll get used to, having fun doing stuff. You'll feel accomplished. Now, you've actually sat down, you have your goals, and you're practicing. So you should probably take your piece and you should chunk it up, divide it up into little sections. Each section can be a measure, two measures, or if really hard, maybe half a measure or a single beat if it's a lot. And you should be practicing these individually. So practice the first one, then the second one, and then now that you've practiced both of those up to wherever you want to get them, practice them together, starting again. This way you can make sure your piece flows and doesn't just sound choppy and bad. And as you get more and more chunks together, maybe you can omit the first couple of chunks. So instead of playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you can go 1, 2, 3, and then 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, that sort of stuff. And then it's a good idea to play through each chunk at full speed first. So this way you can figure out where the alternate fingerings need to be, if you might have to tongue the slurred section because it's just on your reed or your instrument, because it's bad, it just cracks every single time. Small concessions like that, trilling, that sort of stuff. See where you have to put that, so that when you play it slow, you can practice with those. So for actually practicing it, find the speed where you can practice it perfectly with no mistakes, and go a little bit below that speed. So say I can play through this passage, this chunk, at 50 beats per minute at no issue at all, with no issue at all. Start at 45 and start working your way up from there. So for actually working your way up, you should practice each chunk that you practice, or 2 chunks together, 3 chunks together, 10 times perfectly in a row. So if you mess up the 9th time, you go back to 1 and start all over. It's annoying, but it'll make you sound better. And then every time you move up a speed for each of these chunks, try to move up no more than 2 beats per minute. This way you barely even notice that you're getting faster. It's like you'll trick yourself into thinking it's the same speed every time. Make sure you practice with all those alternate fingerings and trill fingerings that you figured out when you played through it quickly, as well as practice with all the dynamics and shaping. Make sure you're always practicing with dynamics and shaping. You can make it a habit, and this is all making a habit, correctness a habit. You will play with the dynamics and shaping when you actually play it for the competition or band, that sort of stuff. Oh, and by the way, a little trick: if you have one of these metronomes, to usually you press up and it goes up by 4 or 5 beats per minute every time, but if you hold these two down, you can make sure it only goes up by 1. Just a little trick to help you out there. And if you sit down, you're playing through your stuff, and you realize nothing's going right, you're getting angry with yourself, you're getting angry with your instrument, stop practicing, practice tomorrow, get some sleep, something like that. It's no point in learning to hate practicing. It's all about learning to enjoy it and do it more. So if you're just getting angry and not getting anything done, then, no point. Alright, but that's individual practice.